The bridge was supposed to be the simplest project I'd tackled all year. 4 weekends of lumber, sweat, and precision, nothing more. But that quiet Saturday morning shattered the moment I heard her voice tear across the property like a warning shot. "That bridge is coming down today." I was tightening the final bolt when she marched toward me, heels snapping against the gravel, clipboard clutched like a weapon. I didn't bother looking up right away. I just checked my GPS screen again. Same result, still on my land, still 5 meters outside the HOA boundary. 14 years of land surveying had taught me one thing: people lie. Numbers don't. And the woman storming toward me was about to learn what happens when you pick a fight with someone who literally defines boundary lines for a living. The wooden bridge stretched cleanly across the creek, 16 feet of treated lumber I'd measured and remeasured until every level read perfect. This wasn't a guesswork job. It was built to top coordinates I'd triple-verified before driving a single nail. Then came the footsteps, fast, angry, decisive. A woman in a cream blazer, navy slacks, HOA badge in full display. "You can't build this," she snapped. "This requires HOA approval. Plans. Permits. Review. You're in violation." I set my hammer down, slow and deliberate. "Morning. I'm Wyatt Dalton. I own this property. This bridge sits entirely on my land, outside your jurisdiction. About 15 feet that way is where your authority ends." She blinked like she'd never been contradicted before. "That's not how this community works." She pulled out phrases like Section 4.7 and Architectural Review, but none of it mattered. I handed her the folder: certified deed, official survey, plat map with my license seal, every boundary clearly marked. Her eyes darted through the papers, faster and more frantic. "Anyone can draw a map," she muttered. "That's not a drawing," I corrected. "It's a county-filed legal survey with coordinates that match the markers I set myself, markers embedded in concrete. Check the GPS." I held up the screen. She didn't even try to understand it. "We'll see about that," she spat, turning sharply and marching away, knuckles white around her clipboard. I watched her go and called my brother, Tanner, attorney, strategist, and the one person calm enough to keep me grounded. "I think I'm going to need a lawyer," I said. And I did. Because people like her don't stop after one confrontation. They escalate. By afternoon I had security cameras mounted, GPS timestamps calibrated, boundary markers photographed, and every document backed up in 3 places. I'd learned years ago that power wasn't loud, it was accurate. It was provable. 3 days later, a certified letter arrived. Notice of violation. Remove structure immediately or face daily fines. Included inside, a hand-drawn map that magically repositioned the HOA boundary 3 meters onto my land. That was the moment I knew Judith Callahan wasn't just misinformed, she was weaponizing authority she didn't actually have. Then the online campaign started. She posted pictures of my bridge, angled carefully to hide the boundary markers. She accused me of violating community standards, lowering property values, endangering children, the whole fearmongering package. Comments piled up. I screenshotted every single one. Tanner's voice was calm but sharp when I told him. "Good," he said. "Let her keep digging. Document everything." The HOA called for a friendly meeting. 3 board members. 1 stale conference room. Judith trying to look composed. "We're offering you a compromise," she said with a smile that didn't touch her eyes. "Remove the bridge, and we'll waive the fines." "What's your legal basis?" I asked. Her smile tightened. "Standards. Community peace. Property values. And people will remember who creates problems here." There it was, the threat. I slid the official survey across the table. "This is the law. If you have data that contradicts it, let your attorney send it to mine." I left before she could respond. That night the police arrived. "HOA president called," the officer said. "Claimed illegal construction." I handed him my permits. He inspected the bridge and nodded. "Everything's up to code." Before leaving, he lowered his voice. Off the record? Document every interaction. She's been calling us, a lot. The next morning, 3 bridge planks shifted beneath my feet. Loose bolts. Removed deliberately. On the railing. Danger, unsafe structure. Ordered by Meadowbrook Estates HOA. My security camera told the rest of the story. 5:45 a.m. 2 figures in the dark. Judith and a man, likely her husband, removing the bolts with a drill, then posting the sign. When the officers returned and watched the footage, their professionalism cracked. This is vandalism, one said. And tampering with survey markers? That's serious. They collected evidence, filed reports, and promised to speak with Judith. A line had been crossed. Not just common sense. Not just decency. The law. I wasn't fighting about a bridge anymore. I was defending the principle that property boundaries still meant something, and that truth doesn't crumble just because someone with a clipboard says so. By Sunday, I was in Tanner's office, our evidence spread across a conference table like a war map. He flipped through photos, reports, timestamps, legal documents, nodding slowly. This, he said, is airtight. He listed everything Judith could be facing. Civil trespass. Property damage. Defamation. Harassment. Attempted destruction of a survey monument. Filing false reports. Then he drew a line across his notepad. Our plan is simple. 1 formal warning letter. 1 chance for her to retreat. If she doesn't, we file a case she cannot win. At the bottom he wrote, Goal, make continuing harder than surrendering. For the first time since this war started, I felt something shift, something solid, undeniable. Judith thought authority made her untouchable. But authority ends where truth begins. And I could prove every inch of it. Subscribe now, and be a part of every news story.